finds certain meltdown/spectra vulnerabilities. 95, 96. For the first time in Intel consumer CPU history, these CPUs support up to 128 GB RAM. 97. Increase in number of CPU cores in desktop. 9th generation processors. 8th generation 9th generation cores /threads cores /threads core i34 /44 4 core i56 /66 6 core i76 128 8 core i98 /16. Intel hyper-threading capabilities allow an enabled processor to execute 2 threads per physical core even though the CPUs lack an integrated GPU. Intel set the same price for these CPUs as their featureful counterparts. 98. Desktop processors, S-series, processor branding model cores, threads, basic per clock rate. Turbo clock rate, 99 GHz. Pumax per clock rate. L3 cached memory support. Brick. USD number of cores used 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 core i99900 KS8 16 4.0 GHz 5.0 UHD 6301.20 GHz 16 MB 127W *DDR4 $26665299000 K3.6 GHz 5.0 4.84.795W $4899000 KF Core i79700 K8 8 3.6 GHz 4.94.84.74.6 UHD 6301.20 GHz 12 MB 95W $3797000 KF Core i59600 K6 6 3.7 GHz 4.64.54.44.3 UHD 6301.15 GHz 9 MB $2696000 KF 94002.9 GHz 4.1 UHD 6301.05 GHz 65W $18 9400F Core i39350 KF4 4.0 GHz 4.68 MB 91W DDR4 2400 $1791000 F3.6 GHz 4.26 MB 65W $1291000 UHD 6301.1 GHz. Various reviews show that the Core i9-9900K CPU may consume over 140W under load. The Core i9-9900KS may consume even more. 100, 101, 102, 103. Mobile processors, H-series, processor branding model cores, threads. Basic per clock rate. Single core turbo clock rate, GHz. Pumax per clock rate. L3 cached memory support. Price, USD. Core i99980 HK8, 16, 2.4 GHz 5.0 HD 6301.25 GHz 16 MB 45W DDR4 $2666.58398880 H2.3 GHz 4.81.20 GHz $556 Core i79850 H6, 12. 2.6 GHz 4.61.15 GHz 12 MB $3959750 H4.5 Core i59400 H4, 8. 2.5 GHz 4.31.10 GHz 8 MB $2509300 H2.4 GHz 4.11.05 GHz. 10th generation Cascade Lake microarchitecture. Cascade Lake X series CPUs are the 10th generation versions of the previous Skylake X series CPUs. They offer minor clock speed improvements and a highly reduced price. High-end desktop processors, X series. Processor branding model cores /thread space clock single core turbo clock or core turbo clock L3 cached Pri-Core i9-10980XE18 /363.0 GHz 4.8 GHz 3.8 GHz 24.75 MB 165W $9791090X14 /283.3 GHz 4.1 GHz 19.25 MB $7841090X12 /243.5 GHz 4.3 GHz $6891090X10 /203.7 GHz 4.7 GHz $590. Ice Lake microarchitecture. Ice Lake is code name for Intel's 10th generation Intel Core processors, representing an enhancement of the architecture of the preceding generation Kaby Lake / Cannon Lake processors, as specified in Intel's Process Architecture Optimization Execution Plan. As the successor to Cannon Lake, Ice Lake uses Intel's Neural 10nm and fabrication process, and is powered by the Sunny Cove microarchitecture. Ice Lake are the first Intel CPUs to feature in-silicon mitigations for the hardware vulnerabilities discovered in 2017, Meltdown and Spectre. These side-channel attacks exploit branch predictions use of speculative execution. These exploits may cause the CPU to reveal cached private information which the exploiting process is not intended to be able to access as a form of timing attack. Features. CPU. On average 18% increase in IPC in comparison to 2015 Skylake running at the same frequency and memory configuration, 104, 105. L1 instruction / data cache, 32 kilobytes / 48 KB, L2 cache, 512 KB, 79. Dynamic tuning 2.0 which allows the CPU to stay at turbo frequencies for longer, 106, 107. 6 new AVX 512 instruction subsets, VBOP, VBMI2, BTALG, VKLMALG, GFNI, and Vs. AI Tasks Acceleration, Intel Deep Learning Boost, 108, 107. GPU. Gen 11 GPU with up to 64 execution units Winking SAT Smiley 109, 110, 4K at 120Hz, 5K, 8K display output, 111. Variable rate shading, 112, 113. DisplayPort 1.4 with display stream compression, HDMI 2.0b. Up to 1.15 flops of computational performance. 2 HEVC 10-bit encode pipelines, either 2 4K 64:4:4 streams simultaneously or 1 8K 34:2:2, 107. Package. 10nm and transistors. New memory controller with DDR4 3200 and LPDDR4X 3733 support. Integrated support for Wi-Fi 6, 802.11ax. Thunderbolt 3 support, 114. Mobile processors, U-series. Processor branding model cores, threads. Basic per clock rate turbo clock XNAM of course GPU L3 cached Pri-124 series AS max clock rate up down core i7 1065G74, 8. 1.3 GHz 3.93.5 Iris plus 641.1 GHz 8 MB 15W 25W 12W $426 Core i5-1035G 71.2 GHz 3.73.31.05 GHz 6 MB 15W 25W 12W $3201035G 41.1 GHz $48.309135G 11.0 GHz 3.6 UHD 3213W $297 Core i3-1005G 12 4 1.2 GHz 3.4 UHD 320.9 GHz 4 MB 15W 25W 13W $281 Mobile processors, Y series. Processor branding model cores, threads. Basic per clock rate turbo clock XNAM of cores GPU L3 cache 8 Pri 124 series AS max clock rate up down core i7-1060G74 8 1.0 GHz 3.83.4 Iris plus 641.1 GHz 8 MB 9W 12W Core i5-1030G 70.8 GHz 3.53.2 Iris plus 646 MB 9W 12W 1030G 40.7 GHz 48 Core i3-1000ing 42 4 1.1 GHz 3.2 Iris plus 480.9 GHz 4 MB 9W 12W 1000G 41000G1 UHD 32 Comet Lake Microarchitecture. Comet Lake is Intel's code name for the fourth 14nm Skylake process refinement, following Whiskey Lake. Intel announced low-power mobile Comet Lake ECPAS availability on the 21st of August, 2019. 115 architecture changes in Comet Lake U compared to Whiskey Lake. Up to 6 CPU cores, L3 cache up to 12 MB. Higher turbo frequencies. LPDDR4X 2933 memory support. Wi-Fi 6AX201 support, depends on PCH chipset, 116. Increase in number of CPU cores in desktop 10th generation processors 9th generation 10th generation cores /threads cores /threads core i34 /44 /8 core i56 /66 /12 core i78 /88 /16 core i98 /1610 /20 Desktop processors, S series. Processor branding model cores, threads, CPU clock rate, GHz. Basil Core Turbo Boost 2.0 Turbo Boost Max 3.0 Model Core i9-10900K10, 20. 3.74.85.15.2 UHD 6301090KF109103.64.75.0 UHD 630109002.84.55.11090F 10900T1.93.74.54.6 UHD 6301085K3.64.75.05.1 Core i7-10700K8, 16. 3.8107000KF107002.94.64.74.8 UHD 630107000F 10700T2.03.74.44.5 UHD 630 Core i5-10600K6, 12. F4.14.54.8106000 KF1060003.34.44.8 UHD63010600 T2.43.74.0 1050003.14.24.5 T2.33.53.8104002.94.04.31040 F1040 T2.03.23.6 UHD 630 Core i3103204 8 3.84.44.6 1030003.74.24.4 10300 T3.03.63.9 1010003.64.14.3 10100 F10100 T3.03.53.8 UHD 630 Mobile processors, H series. Processor branding model cores, threads, CPU clock speed, gigahertz, GPU smartclock, MB, base max.turbo model max.fric, gigahertz. Core i9-10980HK8, 16. 2.45.3 UHD 6301.2516108885H Core i7-10875H 2.35.11.201087H 2.25.010850H 6, 12. 2.75.11.15121075H 2.65.0 Core i5-10500H 2.54.51.0510400H 4, 8 2.64.61.1081030H 2.54.51.0510200H 2.44.1 UHD 610 Mobile processors, U series. Processor branding model cores, threads, CPU clock speed, gigahertz, GPU cook, MB. Base max.turbo model max.fric. Core i7-10810U6, 12, 1.14.9 UHD 6201.15 10710U4.7106110U4, 8, 1.84.910510U Core i5-10310U 1.74.4102110U 1.64.21.10 Core i3-10110U 2, 4, 2.14.11.00 Comet Lake Refresh Microarchitecture Processor branding model cores, threads, CPU clock rate, gigahertz. Bubasial Core Turbo Boost 2.0 Model Max.fric. Core i5-1050056, 12, 3.24.34.6 UHD 6301.2 Core i3-1032548, 8. 3.94.54.71.15103053.84.34.5103005 T3.03.74.01.10 10105.3.74.24.4101005 F10105 T3.03.63.9 UHD 6301.10 Amber Lake Refresh Microarchitecture List of Amber Lake Refresh Y series processor branding model cores, threads. Clock rate Turbo Boost Clock rate Pumax GPR Clock rate L3 Cache 8 Memory price 1 core 2 cores 4 cores up down Core i7-10510Y4, 8 1.2 GHz, 4.5 GHz, 3.2 GHz for 10th gen processors, 1150 MHz, 8 MB7W9W, 4.5W LPDDR32133 US$403 Core i5-10310Y, 1.1 GHz, 4.1 GHz, 2.8 GHz, 1050 MHz, 6 MB, 5.5 was $292.